Title: The Real-Life Billionaire Filter, Unpacking the Rich Influencer Lie. Introduction: The Curtain and the Stage. Welcome to The Filtered Life, the podcast that examines the gap between what you see online and what's actually happening in the world. I'm your host, and today we are pulling back the velvet curtain on one of the most seductive, yet most manufactured, corners of the internet, the life of the rich influencer. You scroll through your feed, and it's a non-stop barrage of opulence. Sunrise yoga on a private jet. A casual stroll past the Eiffel Tower in head-to-toe designer clothes. A perfect, minimalist, multi-million-dollar apartment with a view that costs more than your entire street. They present a life of effortless, unending luxury, paid for by, well, they say it's paid for by a seven-figure digital course or trading crypto. The problem is, this aesthetic of wealth has become an economy in itself. And what you're seeing isn't a life at all, it's a meticulously crafted stage play. Our topic today is simple: the real life of rich influencers. And I promise you, the truth is far more complicated, often much less glamorous, and in some cases, truly stressful. Segment 1: The Smoke and Mirrors of Manufactured Wealth. Let's start with the hard reality: a huge portion of the wealth you see online isn't owned, it's rented, borrowed, or purely staged. There is an entire, booming industry dedicated to making influencers look richer than they are. We're talking about fake wealth services. For example, the private jet photo shoot. You see an influencer sipping champagne on a cream leather seat with a window showing perfect blue sky. What you don't see is that they might have paid a studio that specializes in stationary jet mock-ups. Yes, these businesses exist. They pay a few $100s for an hour in a fixed cockpit or cabin, complete with perfect lighting and a flight attendant uniform you can rent for the full effect. Then there's the rented life. That exotic car parked perfectly in the driveway. A rental for the day. That high-end handbag. It might be borrowed from a brand, or purchased with the tags tucked in, only to be returned after the photo shoot, a practice that is far more common than you'd think. People will rent an entire Airbnb that looks like a Malibu villa for a weekend, shoot 6 months worth of content in 48 hours, and then return to their average, or even debt-ridden, daily life. Why? Because the illusion of wealth is the product. The psychology is simple: if you look rich and successful, people will trust your business advice, buy your course on how to be successful, or buy the products you endorse, believing that your lifestyle is the direct result of that product. The influencer is selling the aspiration, not the reality. Segment 2: The Financial Tightrope, High Income, High Anxiety. Now, let's talk about the small fraction of influencers who actually do make serious, seven-figure money. Even for them, the real life is often an incredibly precarious high-wire act. It's a job of high-income volatility. Unlike a CEO who receives a steady, predictable salary, an influencer's income is a roller coaster. It's based on brand deals, which can be massive, a six-figure payment for a few videos, but they are not guaranteed. They depend on algorithms, platform stability, and the ever-changing trends of consumer interest. If Instagram tweaks its algorithm tomorrow, an influencer who makes $500,000 a year might suddenly find their engagement cut in half, and their brand deals dry up overnight. This creates intense, constant pressure. They are always chasing the next viral hit, always worried about becoming irrelevant. Furthermore, most influencers are independent contractors. They don't have a corporate HR department handling their benefits. There are no paid sick days, no 401k matching, and absolutely no paid vacation. Every single expense, from the cameraman and editor to the massive tax bill, is handled by them. They have to run a complex, demanding business while simultaneously pretending they just woke up flawless and floated onto a yacht. The result is often a strange blend of actual wealth and crippling financial insecurity, where they might have $1 million in the bank but are terrified to take a week off, because silence online means death to the algorithm. Segment 3: The Toll of the Unblinking Eye and the Erosion of Privacy. The final, and perhaps darkest, truth about the rich influencer life is the immense personal and psychological toll it takes. They are constantly on, and this lack of off time erodes their life in profound ways. The constant need to be relatable, inspiring, and flawless leads to a relentless pressure to maintain the image. Every meal is a photo opportunity. Every holiday is a strategic piece of content. Even genuine emotional moments are weighed against their potential engagement rate. Think about the simple concept of privacy. For a true mega-influencer, there is none. Their location is often discoverable. Their personal relationships are monetized, the public expects to see the wedding, the birth, and the relationship drama. And when those relationships inevitably end, they have to navigate a public, often brutal breakup that simultaneously fuels content and destroys their emotional well-being. The most damaging effect is the loss of authenticity. The most successful content is often the most vulnerable, the most real. But once you monetize your real life, you start to exaggerate the highs and theatricalize the lows. You start living for the content, not for yourself. And when they face genuine hardship, mental health struggles, major failures, or deep personal grief, they often feel they have to perform their recovery for the camera. They're expected to share their deepest struggles, package them neatly into an inspirational journey, and use a discount code at the end. The boundaries between self and product become completely blurred. They become a brand that must be protected, even at the expense of their own human experience. Conclusion: the lesson of the filter. So, what's the takeaway? It's not about hating success, it's about recognizing the illusion. The truly wealthy, the people who actually have private jets and generational wealth, often prefer anonymity. They avoid social media because their wealth is an asset to be protected, not a commodity to be broadcast. The rich influencer of life, on the other hand, is a transactional relationship. You give them your attention, and in exchange, they sell you a fantasy. That fantasy is a high-maintenance, fragile entity that demands the influencer's constant sacrifice of time, privacy, and authenticity. The next time you see that curated feed, that perfect travel photo, or that flawless body, remember the unseen costs. Remember the rented cars, the returned clothes, the tax stress, and the crippling fear of the algorithm changing. Use their journey as motivation, perhaps, but use your real life as your guide. The freedom they project is often the very thing they have sacrificed. Thank you for listening.